Hi, my name is Ruth, and I'm the help desk manager here at BizCo. Let me start by saying that I love what I do and I love the people I work with and for. I've worked for a lot of companies of all types and sizes, and I have never been as happy as I am now. Now, no company is perfect, no manager or owner is perfect, and I've found that that's okay. Perfection is not realistic. And as real people living in a real world, we've come across real problems that needed real solutions. So today, I'd like to tell you a story about how we leveraged an employee recognition program to help us resolve some growing pain issues that we ran into. Back in 2017, our help desk consisted of one dispatcher, myself, and four remote engineers. Back then, the phones rang to everyone at the same time, regardless of skill level. One guy was in charge of security, one in charge of hardware, one in charge of handling the tough issues, and the other was taking most of the calls. But they were all expected to handle full calls as their number one priority. This worked okay for a while until we started to onboard more and more clients. As a dispatcher, I also had several responsibilities on my plate. My first priority was answering calls. After that, I also had to triage email tickets from the board directly to the team, process orders that came in from sales, check product in that came in for the day and requested, run reports for clients, salespeople, and internally for my own team. So, needless to say, we were busy. And we still came in to work with a smile on our face because it was fun coming to work. And it very much had a feeling like we were just hanging out with our friends who all happened to be working on computers. But as we started onboarding more and more clients, we started having more work, more stress, and less fun. We all found ourselves staying late to finish the work, not fully finishing it, and then going home tired and demoralized. Going to sleep and coming back the next day, knowing that no matter how hard we worked, some tickets just weren't going to get addressed in time. And as a result, that clients would be calling in upset, and rightly so, about why their issues weren't resolved yet. And it was just this rinse, reuse, repeat. We had gotten stuck in a bad cycle. It was fairly obvious that we were going through growing pains. We needed more outside engineers. We needed more help desk engineers. I needed another dispatcher. And onboarding new employees takes time. So we needed a morale boost now to hold us over while we weathered the growing pains of finding and hiring and training more people. I started doing some research and started seeing everywhere that employee recognition programs were working to help boost morale, productivity, and overall employee satisfaction. And that's exactly what we were looking for. So when I found all of that information, I started discussing creating an employee recognition program that would work specifically for us. We started by identifying what we were doing well and where we needed improvements. We landed on three individual daily KPIs. Number one was number of completed calls, two, number of tickets that were being closed, three, number of billable hours they were putting into our ticketing system. And these metrics were being tracked on a daily basis. We also wanted to make sure we all felt like a team, so we set up a team KPI, and that was to clear the board of all tickets every day. Each KPI had points attached to it if they reached certain metrics. For example, if they took 10 calls, then they would receive 1 point for every 10 calls that they took. Billing two billable hours would end up in 1 point. So we put a little bit more value over, number of billable hours because we definitely wanted to see those billable hours go up as opposed to the number of completed calls. Um, but we still want them to compete over who's going to have the most completed calls per day. In the clearing of the board of all tickets every day, we did have certain cutoff times and things that we uh, put in place to make sure that it was fair and attainable. Obviously, we're not going to count the board as not cleared if a ticket got sent at 4:59 that day. So based on that, we had KPIs, we had points assigned to them, and we put everything together and we were ready to go. I started running reports every night and gathering each data point for each engineer. Based on that, we had another master spreadsheet where we kept track of how many points everyone had and who had redeemed what, etc. This worked okay for a while, but as we started growing and hiring more remote engineers and dispatchers, keeping track of points, point values, who had purchased what, and dealing with people coming up and asking, hey, how many points do I still have? And when they were ready to cash out their points, having to spend time to source the items that they wanted, keeping track of where they were shipped to, how long they were going to get there, how that looked on our books. It all started to become a little bit overwhelming. And we started asking a very important question. Is this even working? We started looking at our billable percentages, number of tickets closed, percentage of boards being cleared, and we gauged our customer satisfaction and found that it was in fact working. Our percentages had gone up, which translated into happier customers, which translated into some additional leads, and some of those leads actually turned into new customers. And our engineers were giddy too. Every time they were able to cash out their points for something they really wanted, one of our engineers was even able to save enough points to purchase this Dark Knight edition of Secret Labs gaming chair. He was the envy of the office with that thing. Finally, morale had been restored, and fairly quickly, I want to say. What we found was that when our employees are happy and taken care of, then they in turn take care of your customers. And when the customer is happy and taken care of, they bring you more business. And when you have more business, that means it's basically more money for the bottom line. This cycle of not only rewarding employees for their performance, but also recognizing them and saying, hey, you did a really great job last week with, taking the most phone calls. Even if they didn't do everything perfect, or if there were some failures, recognizing the good things that they did is a boost that everyone needs. And it's the trigger for this positive cycle. So now we were in a pickle. We knew the program worked, but our execution of it was taking a toll. So I started looking for an employee recognition platform that would allow us to take what we already had built and streamline that process while also making it easy to implement to the whole company. After demoing and vetting several companies, we finally pulled the trigger with Timo. And it's been kind of a game changer for us. Now, we've got a demo queued up to show you exactly how Timo works. But before Sean pulls that up, I'd like us to do a little exercise. Go ahead and pull out your phone, your tablet, your laptop, or just a regular pen and notepad. I'll give everybody a minute here. And yes, I'm super serious. This is such an important part. Yes, sir, in the back, that means you as well. Okay. Go ahead and set a reminder for yourself to do whatever you need to do the following. Research benefits of employee rewards and recognition programs. I know doing research is kind of painful, but I promise you won't regret the time that you spend doing even just a little bit of this research. Now, if after we show you Timo, you find that you like this specific platform and you are wanting a demo, we can facilitate that for you. I don't know if we actually get a kickback from Timo for the referrals, but it doesn't really matter either way. The pleasure of knowing we were able to help in some way is reward enough for us. And with that, I will say goodbye and good luck on your own journey in exploring employee satisfaction. Sean, take it away.